OfficialBehindTheGloves.com here in association with SJM Boxing with Abner Mares. Abner, man, weird. We were supposed to do this a little while ago, but I guess time was on our side right now. And before we get into anything else, let's talk about the big news that was just actually dropped about an hour and a half ago, and that is the return of the face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez versus Callum Smith, December 19th on DAZN, more than likely in Texas. We'll get into the Texas part a little bit because I know you have a lot of knowledge of what's going down in that area with the events and all that stuff. But just talk to us about that announcement. It's a huge fight. It's been over a year, I believe, now that Canelo hasn't fought. So
right
in the ring. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, I'm really excited to see Canelo back, and I'm glad he himself as a fighter, as the South promoter now, South made fighter, push for a fight like this, before the end of the year. Anyone in his position could have easily said, you know what, I'll wait till next year, wait till all this is, I don't know, more in this favor, you could say, because at the end of the day, the fighters do make a little bit more, with audience in attendance. But then you touch a good point about Texas having that pull. We saw it with Leo Santa Cruz and Tank Davis. But again, big Canelo fan as a fighter that he is. Great, like you mentioned, the face of boxing. But at the same time, the fact and the just the fact of the matter that he's always wanting to face the best, to get the best fights. And I think I believe that is one of the reasons why he is now, a free agent. He's got the ability, he's got the advantage to really, get any fight with any promoter. So this is a big fight though. Callum Smith is no pushover, really tough fight to pick, towards the end of the year, quarantine, you know what I'm saying? Like, people that are during those times really don't like to be training, but that says a lot about his character and demeanor to always be ready for a fight.
Talk to us about that fight. That fight, as you said, it's good. It's 168 pounds, so it's going to be a NBA super middleweight title and everything. Just your thoughts on that fight. Again, you said Callum, good fighter. We saw what he was able to do over the UK. We've seen Canelo up and coming from the beginning and everything. So just your thoughts.
You know what? It's a fight that it's a good name for Canelo, a good fight, a guy that, is going to push him. We know of Callum Smith's abilities, in the UK, like you mentioned. And being honest, this fight has been talked about for quite some time. He's been always brought up as a possible opponent for Canelo Alvarez. It wasn't a surprise for me, to be honest. I'm just glad it finally got officially made. And at the end of the day, styles make fights. I think the good boxer that Callum Smith is, he is a good boxer. He's not, your power puncher. He's not your big guy, like Canelo is. Canelo now is known as not just a great body, snatcher, body worker, but just a powerful man, powerful fighter that could take you out with any punch. So, it was just one of those fights that, it'll be good on Canelo's resume, but at the same time, someone that could, test him a little bit, but still favor Canelo highly on this fight.
All right. I want to touch on something that you mentioned earlier, and that's the fact that Canelo is a free agent moving from this fight because him being a free agent opens up so much. So many people, world fans, reporters, media, announcers alike have been wanting to see him in with the Charlos, both of them.
Right.
Talk about an Earl Spence fight at 160 could be good. The possibility that this fight against Callum was actually supposed to be against Caleb Plant. Another possibility there. There's the Benavidez fight. So there are multiple avenues, and oddly enough, most of the avenues lead to PBC fighters.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like you mentioned, being like, it reminds me a little bit of, but obviously, okay, I'm gonna compare them, but different circumstances. So Cotto, remember Miguel Cotto? He was a free agent for many years, a little bit more towards the end of his career, where he got to pick fights with Mayweather, with Pacquiao, with Sab Judah, like big names towards the end of his career. But he was a free agent. He was able to sit down with the promoter comfortably, come up with a good, but financially, set and talk business. Same thing that Mikey Garcia has been doing for many years. It has worked for him. Look at Mikey Garcia, PBC's fought with Top Rank, and that's a beauty about being a free agent. And Canelo, just not just a regular fighter, he is the face of boxing. And imagine the face of boxing, the fighter of this era right now, being a free agent. So that guy's, it's everything's on his hands, man. Everything's on his shoulders. So the promoters are going to be looking for him. He's not going to be looking for them. But at the same time, I think that PBC right now has, you mentioned like the big names that he wants, such as Caleb Plant, such as Errol Spence, Charlo. The one good fight that I would like to see also, but I think it's a little too soon for Munguia. But Munguia fight, who is with Top Rank. And even, it's been mentioned, but I don't think Canelo likes or the other fighter likes him personally. And I'm talking about Zurdo Ramirez.
Oh yeah.
That's another good fight. I believe they don't like each other personally. So I mean, Canelo has many fights left, many years left, and great fights to choose from. So I'm really excited as a boxing fan. Just where the position that he is now, the position that he is in now, and I'm looking forward for him to making, because I think that's where he is right now. He wants to please the crowd, he wants to please himself, and he wants to be recognized as one of the best in boxing, period. Put in the names, behind the names of Muhammad Ali, the great ones, and he's in the great path to doing so.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else